She's young, she's beautiful, and she's missing.
I called hospitals, I called jails, I called the morgues.
With the clock ticking, police search everywhere.
Just seemed like it was dead end after dead end after dead end.
But there's one witness has seen it all.
Unbelievable. You watch that surveillance, it made you physically sick.
Can surveillance video help police find Kenya Monhay before it's too late? Thursday, March 31st, 2011, Denver, Colorado. 19-year-old student Kenya Monhay is hanging out at the family house with mom and younger sister Kim.
Hey, check this out.
She's just finished a semester in broadcasting at a local college.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Kenya kept a pretty active social life.
Ooh, I like it.
She did what all the friends were doing. They liked to go out and party.
What nail polish is this?
I gotta go.
Kenya's boyfriend, Lewis Easton, arrives to give Kenya a ride back to their apartment before she heads out for a night on the town.
She was just a really good person. She had a really good heart. You know, the fun things come in small packages. She was like 4'11", really little.
At 19, Kenya's not old enough to visit Denver's bars and clubs. But her boyfriend, Lewis, manages a 16 and over hookah bar.
When she was leaving, she looked at me and she said bye, and I was blowing kisses to her.
It should have been just a normal day in the life of this pretty young woman. But it wasn't. The next day, April 1st, Kenya's family gets the first sign that something's wrong.
Her boyfriend called me.
Hey, Kimberly.
And he asked me if I've spoken to her, and I told him no.
And you haven't heard from her?
And he said, oh, well, she didn't come home and she's missing. And I was just like, okay, this is like some sick April Fool's joke.
Hi. I knew that something was wrong.
Nobody's heard anything.
I called my job and I went home.
Dad!
This is no April Fool's joke.
Have we heard anything?
No.
Nothing?
Me and Kenya spoke to each other all day, every day. It was kind of weird if we didn't speak to each other.
Has she called you at all?
No.
Just try calling her again.
Kenya's father grows more and more worried by the minute.
And let us know if you hear anything at all.
He tracks down the girls Kenya was with the night before.
Kenya.
Gigi and Brittany show up at the house.
Hi.
The family have a lot of questions.
I was just like, okay, so where's my sister? You guys should have called way earlier.
Talk to me.
Yeah, we thought she might be here.
They saw the seriousness of the situation, and they started telling me the truth about what they were doing.
And the truth was, they hadn't been to Lewis's 16 and over bar.
We went to a club last night.
A club?
How are you guys getting into these clubs? It was only that evening when I found out that, well, we've got false IDs.
Using those fake IDs, the girls get into a downtown bar called 24K.
Have fun.
They were just having a good time, expecting to meet up at the end of the night and go home together. So no one was really watching what everyone else was doing.
Later, the girls realize Kenya's gone.
She left with that guy?
You guys would have just stayed together and didn't let my sister leave anywhere, then none of this would have happened.
The girls hand over Kenya's purse and cell phone.
Oh, my God.
Something's wrong here because I know one thing that she would never be without was her cell phone, period.
It's a huge red flag for Kenya's family, and panic takes hold.
We can get some information.
That is when I immediately decided I needed to make a missing persons report.
I need to report my daughter missing.
And the officer on the desk took all of the information.
Her name is Kenya Monet.
He said within the first 72 hours, they usually come home.
Who knows where she is?
Tony can only hope the officer is right. Kenya became Tony's stepdaughter when he married her mom, Maria. The family all came together in 2004.
I was so happy. I feel like everything was so perfect to me in that day.
My first impression of her when she first got here was how short she was. I mean, she was 4'11" and initially very shy.
Oh my goodness, I have a sister now. This is so weird. I was so excited. I was like, now I can do everything with her. She was my role model. She was everything I wanted to be.
The clock is ticking. If Kenya is to be found, investigators need to start tracking her, and fast. Detectives Luis Estrada and Nash Garule take charge of the case. They call in Deputy DA Carrie Lombardi. She also works for the Missing Persons Unit.
When someone's missing, all you can really do is go backwards and see where they'd been and try to figure out who was the last person to see them.
Estrada questions Gigi, the friend Kenya was with, the night she went missing. She describes a typical night out.
Brittany and I went to go get some drinks and...
Except for one thing.
I mean, I remember her dancing with this guy.
She was dancing in the bar with a guy. And next thing you know, both her and the guy are gone. They thought she went to the bathroom and really didn't even know that she was gone until the bar closed. And that's when they all realized that, you know, we still have Kenya's purse, we still have her car keys, we have her cell phone, and there's no Kenya.
Police head to the last place anyone saw Kenya, the 24K bar in downtown Denver. Detectives show bar staff Kenya's image.
What did they see? Did they see anything suspicious? Did they see a man arguing with a young woman?
But in such a busy bar, it's hard to keep track of everyone who comes and goes.
Stairs, do you have any up here?
And that's when they spot what could be their best witness. There are multiple surveillance cameras watching the bar around the clock.
Starting at the bar that she was at with her friends, we've got as much surveillance as was possible.
The footage is loaded into the system.
You're hoping to find out where was she, what time is it, how does she look, who's she with.
They cue up the first tape. They expect this will give them the best chance to see more of the bar than any other camera at 24K.
Okay, well, can you go back a little? I don't know where she is.
They scan the Thursday night crowd, desperately looking for any sign of Kenya. A girl in a short black dress.
No, all I'm seeing is bar staff.
Next.
Then, from behind a group of dancers, they spot something.
So right there, freeze on that. Let's hold that one up.
The mysterious story of what happened to Kenya Monhe begins on the floor of this bar. The 19-year-old college student Kenya Monhe is missing. She disappeared after a night out with friends. Now detectives have a witness that may have seen everything. The team gathered to scrutinize the footage from surveillance cameras at the bar, 24K. looking for any sign of Kenya or the mystery man she was allegedly with. They see something.
Derek, freeze on that. Let's pull that one up.
They're looking for a woman in a short black dress. Is it Kenya? They push in tighter. They need one telling detail from the security footage. Police know Kenya was wearing red shoes the night she went missing. The girl in the black dress and black shoes isn't Kenya.
2 a.m. approximately.
At 1:40 a.m., Kenya's friends, Gigi and Brittany, were still in the club, who, as of now, are the last to have seen her alive. They load up the footage from camera 2. It's directly above the dance floor, but there might be a problem.
No, I can't see anything on that.
If a light is pointing into the lens, they won't get a thing from camera 2. Any bar's most important cameras cover the front door.
Okay, there she is.
Yeah.
Right there.
They know Gigi, Brittany, and Kenya arrive at 24K. They enter the bar at just after 11:30 p.m. Now they can establish a timeline.
Blow that one up.
Yep.
Yes.
If Kenya arrived, she must have left, and they need to know who with.
All right.
Until they know that, the investigation is at a dead end.
Roll forward to the end of that.
It's 1:45. The bar is about to close. Gigi and Brittany are among the last out of the door.
Where's she?
But Kenya isn't caught on camera leaving.
We looked for any footage of her during the time she was there or leaving the bar, and they had none. So, another dead end.
The mystery only deepens. Kenya enters the bar, but police never see her leave, at least out the front door. Meanwhile, Kenya's family launches a search of their own.
There's no step-by-step guide of what you should be doing, so you're trying to figure that out. Okay, now what do? We get search parties together, and we get these rudimentary flyers together.
Some of her friends were with us, and we were just posting pictures, asking people around if they've seen my sister. I always had that thought in my head that she was going to come back home.
Lead investigators Estrada and Garule head back to the club.
Working?
Yes, I was.
Okay, do you want to show him a picture?
And when they question the bouncers,
Had to kick her out, though.
How come?
they uncover something significant.
Kenya and this guy had been kicked out of the bar at the same time because she appeared to be intoxicated.
The bouncer walked Kenya and a young man through the bar. and showed them out through the back door. That's why no camera at the front door ever captured Kenya leaving the club.
She left her purse and money and her cell phone and her keys behind. You know, was she just so intoxicated that she did that?
No choice but to kick her out, really. Was she with anybody?
The bouncer gives detectives another valuable clue.
He had seen Kenya and this guy going in the direction of 15th and California. Without that tip, police would not have known where to look. So they started now looking for any kind of surveillance video that picked up Kenya and whoever she was with.
Bar 24K isn't the only Denver business with security cameras. Investigators discover there are hundreds of cameras from sidewalks, local businesses, and apartment buildings.
So 15th in California is Club 24. That's where we're going to start our search from. Yeah. We need to get all the cameras.
It was a big task. Officers were going to all those businesses, and some of them would go in and you could view the footage there. And then if there was something, they could download that or take it.
Police round up footage from every camera on 15th Street and bring it in to headquarters.
We need you guys to go through it all, frame by frame.
The bouncer says he kicked Kenya and the young man out around 1 a.m. So they rewind the tapes to just after 1.
Wearing a black dress, red shoes. Comb through every single frame, guys, okay?
With the clock ticking, they go tape by tape. And finally, when they check video from a 15th Street apartment building, they hit pay dirt.
Cooley's got something here.
Kenya Monhe has now been missing for 5 days.
She's like this tall.
She was last seen at a Denver nightclub. Police know that she arrived, but she didn't leave through the front door. Police have rounded up tape from dozens of other downtown Denver cameras. And they've just found their first sighting of Kenya since she left the bar.
Cooley's got something here. Hey, that's her walking.
It's Kenya Monhe, and she's not alone.
See that? That's her. That's definitely a car carry.
Detectives have struck gold. This apartment building has a swarm of security cameras. A young man enters the lobby carrying his shoes. Kenya is not far behind, holding her own distinctive red shoes. It doesn't look like anyone is forcing Kenya to be there, but she is very unsteady on her feet.
Who's this guy she's with? I mean, could this person have anything to do with her disappearance?
Police need to know who's the white man in the black t-shirt and red sleeves. They go back and replay the footage, frame by frame.
That's definitely her.
She got into an elevator with him. That was real evidence of where she had been and at what time.
At 1:15 a.m., a camera on the 5th floor picks up the trail. Detectives get a closer look at the man. He casually tosses his shoes. Kenya doesn't look distressed. But she's clearly intoxicated and vulnerable. Kenya and the mystery man disappear out of the frame with no other clue as to where they go next. At least detectives know that Kenya was alive and well at 1:16 a.m. on the morning she vanished.
Everyone thought, well, maybe he knows something. Maybe this is the person who knows what happened to Kenya.
Detectives head for the loft apartments, looking for the mystery man seen with Kenya. They head to the 5th floor. Police need to know which apartment Kenya and the mystery man go in. So they start knocking on doors. They reach apartment 103. It's the man from the footage. His name is Cade Douglas. They bring Douglas to headquarters, then start to interrogate him.
Yeah, that's it.
Tell me the story from the club to your apartment.
Okay, so I'm at the club. It's Friday.
Cade admits that he met Kenya at the club.
I'm dancing. I see this pretty girl over there. What's a guy gonna do, right? Goes over, starts dancing with her. And, you know, we had a good time. We were dancing. We both got a bit drunk. And she got kicked out.
Go! Get the hell out of here.
Come on, let's
After they were thrown out of the bar, Cade offers to take Kenya back to his place, just a few blocks away.
We went back to my place.
Come on in. Yeah.
But Kenya doesn't stay long.
He just told police that he was showing Kenya his loft.
I'm gonna go.
And she left a few minutes later, nothing happened, and she left there safely.
There's one way to find out if Cade is lying. Police go back to the video to check his story.
Hey.
Hey.
They cue up the video to the moment she re-enters the picture by the elevator.
A few minutes later, you see her come back down and leave that area.
Okay, so it looks like she's leaving the building.
Yeah, now she's leaving.
Kenya staggers out the doorway in the front lobby, alone.
So we knew nothing happened to her there. She was still alive. She was still well at that point.
It's another major setback for investigators searching for Kenya Monhe. And they know the hopes of finding her alive fade with each passing hour.
It was incredibly frustrating not knowing anything. You're kind of lost.
Okay, we're missing something.
Denver Police Department said, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. We still haven't heard anything.
But the cameras at the loft apartments aren't the only ones that captured Kenya that night. There's another witness that records a telltale glimpse of the missing woman.
In truth, she was just sort of a walking target.
It's been 6 days since anyone has heard from 19-year-old Kenya Monhe. She's been caught on tape at the 24K bar the night she vanished. And she's seen again at the Loft Apartments at around 2 a.m. Now, police are hoping other surveillance cameras might help them pick up her trail one more time.
We're missing something. Okay, look, here are the lofts. Okay, so...
They check camera after camera after camera, looking for any sign of Kenya. But there's nothing.
All that tape has to be that she has to have gone into this area.
Until they cue up the camera from a hotel just a block away from the apartment where she was last seen. The camera overlooks the lobby. They scroll through, looking for the missing woman. Then, at 2:04 a.m., they come upon these ghost-like frames.
It's her for sure.
They study each second, each frame of the video.
We see her walking across the hotel lobby.
She's alone and seems okay. Does she meet someone at the hotel? From the lobby layout, they deduce she was there to make a restroom stop.
She went to the bathroom there, was there for quite some time.
Police know she's been drinking and might not be aware of her surroundings. Is anyone following her? But the lobby surveillance camera is where the trail goes cold. There is no more video of her leaving.
Just seemed like it was dead end after dead end after dead end.
Hope was all that kept everyone together. Hope is very powerful. It gets you through.
Not yet. I know this is a tough time right now.
I'm still calling this front desk cop, asking him, is there anything? Do you have anything?
The police told us they're doing everything in their power to find her. I need my daughter home. In that moment, I was desperate.
With detectives out of leads, Tony Lee launches an investigation of his own. He starts with Kenya's cell phone.
I went through her phone messages, and I'm looking for who she was in contact at night.
And as he searches the phone,
and the message says, "Hi, this is Travis, guy in a creepy white van, asking, did she get home okay?"
Maria, come look at this.
Felt that, okay, this seems to be the last person that she would have been with that night. So I immediately call.
Hello, is this Travis?
Tony explains Kenya is missing. Concerned, Travis immediately agrees to meet with Tony at the gas station where he last saw Kenya in the middle of the night.
There was a white van parked out in the back of this Conoco station, and I guess this was where he wanted to meet me.
Hey, Travis.
Travis tells Tony the strange story of how he met Kenya.
Tell me what happened.
He said he was headed home around 2 a.m. when he spotted her.
He said that he noticed on the sidewalk this young lady, black dress, black short miniskirt, red heels, and she was talking to a homeless guy. He thought that this doesn't look right.
Can you help me? Or?
So he decided to ask her, hey, are you all right?
Listen, I'm lost.
Kenya has lost her friends and cell phone.
I need to go home. So if you can help me get here.
Travis offers to help track them down.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, it's a little messy.
He took her, drove her around, didn't find anything.
But I really need to find my friends and my phone.
When they fail to find her friends, he offers to drive her home.
But if you want, I can just drop you off here.
He said we headed out to downtown, giving a ride home. As we were on our way, she said she wanted a cigarette.
Travis then pulls into the gas station so Kenya can buy cigarettes.
Oh, no.
But the store is closed.
Closed, huh?
Travis is about to pull away and take Kenya home.
Actually, no, there's a guy with a cigarette.
When she spots a guy in the distance.
Just give me 1 second, okay?
I'll be right here.
Kenya heads over to bum a smoke from the man. Travis waits for her to return so he can drive her home.
All right, well. Hey, are you coming or what? Okay, have a good night.
But she doesn't.
They just took off. And he said, and that's the last that I've seen of her.
If I really should have drove her home, man, I'm sorry.
Tony is devastated. He was hoping Travis would be able to lead him to Kenya.
Good luck with everything, eh? All right, take care, brother.
When Tony tells detectives about what Travis Forbes told him, they bring the Good Samaritan in for an interview.
Travis, this is Detective Gruen, as well as Travis Forbes.
And tell me what happened.
She was drunk and very emotional. And she was looking for somebody to,
comfort her.
Yes, to comfort her.
Detective Garule questions Travis about the mystery man.
She asked him for a cigarette, and they walked off, and that's it. That was it. And I went home.
He went back to his girlfriend's house, Carrie Humphrey, and that's where he was.
Did you ever have any contact with her?
No.
And she verified his alibi.
Any sort of weirdness about her walking over there?
Travis is in the clear.
I would have done something.
You know what, Travis? No one's blaming you, dude. No one's trying to...
But he has given detectives another clue. One that could lead them to more CCTV of Kenya and the stranger she left with.
First question the police were asking is there any kind of recorded evidence, any kind of security video at the gas station?
Detectives approach the manager, expecting to walk away with footage and hopefully get one step closer to tracking down Kenya.
Do you have any cameras around here?
It turns out there was no security camera at the gas station.
Your time. Take care. Bye.
The gas station lead that sounded so promising turns out to be just another dead end.
At this point, there's not really much we can do, but just kind of like a miracle will happen.
Just know that we're doing everything in our power.
We just left the doors open for her, just hoping that she'll just come back home.
I know.
With the police investigation stalled, journalists keep the case of the missing student in the public eye.
The Lees are living every parent's nightmare. Kenya Monhe went missing 6 weeks ago.
We know somebody is keeping her from contacting us.
I felt like every time we did a story, we were helping keep Kenya's name out there.
We got just one question. Where is Kenya?
And that's what the family wanted. They just felt like the more eyes that saw this, the more chances they had of solving the mystery of what happened to her.
Police say they've already followed up on several leads.
All those news stories about the missing woman bring in a flood of tips, including one tip that gives police a much-needed break. An owner of a local bakery hands over a drive loaded with 5 days of surveillance footage.
Okay, let's see what you got us here.
She thinks there's something and someone on the video connected to the case. This video will solve the mystery of what happened to Kenya Monhe. The search for Kenya Monhe has led to one dead end after another. Until now.
Okay, let's see what you got us here.
Detective Estrada has access to a hard drive from a bakery. It contains video captured from the bakery owner's office on the day Kenya went missing. When they cue it up, they're shocked to see a familiar face. Travis Forbes.
Is that Travis?
Yes, Travis
For
Forbes.
sure?
Travis runs a granola bar business from this bakery. Nothing suspicious about that. Until Estrada sees what he does next. Travis walks into an office. A few seconds later, the camera shuts down. Police know you cut the camera when you've got something to hide. When the tape comes back on, they spot something ominous.
Why is he wearing big yellow gloves?
It wasn't the kind of gloves you wear for baking granola bars. It was the kind of gloves you would wear when you're cleaning something up.
Could this be a crime scene cleanup? When they cut to the camera from the storeroom, what they see chills this veteran detective to the bone. Travis is seen wheeling a large container that he uses for his granola bars into a freezer. The problem is, granola bars aren't frozen. So what's in that cooler? Whatever it is, it's sealed with duct tape. And the box is big. Just big enough for a petite body like Kenya's.
Well, I did think right away, there it is.
Cooler like that at 5 in the morning and put it in the freezer?
Kenya's body's in that cooler.
She was tiny, and this was a big cooler. It was just nauseating, really.
Just put it in the freezer.
That is the evidence the police need to pursue this guy.
Could cameras have caught Travis cutting off surveillance, cleaning up evidence, and then concealing a body? Denver police detectives catch up with their man 65 miles north of the city in the college town of Fort Collins. He's already admitted he was with Kenya the night she vanished. And now he's caught on tape. Travis folds.
Well, everything is true about what I told you, except for obviously dropping her off. And she started hitting me. I started hitting her back.
When you say by hitting, were you punching her?
5 months after the crime, Travis Forbes admits he killed Kenya Monhe.
And then she started to scream. And I strangled her, strangled her, I strangled her. And I killed her.
Travis agrees to show detectives where he buried Kenya, and police capture it on tape.
This is where you guys stop.
He stepped out of the truck, and he let out this, like, wail, this just blood-curdling wail. I thought, this is where she is.
Right there. Right there.
I received that phone call from the DA's office. I knew it at that moment that they had probably found Kenya.
Maria?
I told Maria, and the first thing she asked me was, is she okay? And I told her no. And I told her Kenya was gone. We've lost her.
I just said, God, please give me strength. Dad?
Come here.
I just felt like everything that I was hoping for just got taken away from me, and I just couldn't believe that they took my sister. She's not supposed to be gone.
She was crying.
Travis has told police the whole story.
Yeah, you know what?
In the early hours of Friday, April 1st, he picks up an intoxicated Kenya Monhe.
Sorry, it's a little messy.
Offered to give her a ride, offered to help her.
You said you were going to help me. Come on, please.
We did drive to the Conoco, but we didn't park there.
He drove her to a park near that gas station.
And I definitely took advantage of her being drunk. I had sex with her while she was passed out.
She woke up in the middle of it and started fighting him.
And I strangled her, strangled her, I strangled her. And I killed her.
Then he started thinking, what do I do with this body?
I drove a whole day with her in the back of my van. I had her inside the cooler. She just fit right inside. I went back to the bakery. I put Kiki in the freezer.
And it was all caught on tape.
There were 86 separate pieces of videos of evidence that they had. I looked at each one of them individually.
Surveillance video turned out to be the absolute key in this case.
Travis Forbes is sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to first-degree murder.
All around you, life goes on. And if you don't get back out there and live, it will paralyze you. It will kill you. You can die of heartache.
It's so hard to go day by day without her. To me, it's a nightmare.
There is no such thing as closure, and there is no such thing as time heals all wounds. If there is a such thing, we ain't there yet.